Good afternoon, everybody. What we are doing today is something very innovative, very different. Uh, you have all been at these conferences, seminars. I have been speaking at quite a few. What I realize very often is there are speakers who come on stage. They have a prepared agenda. They come talk about something. A lot of people in the audience are not interested. Some are distracted. So I decided to do something very different thanks to RAI supporting us this time. I said, I am going to do a session which is going to be a participant-driven agenda. So I have come here with absolutely no preparation. I have no agenda. I have nothing to speak about. What I'm going to do is make this interactive. Uh, First, I'll just introduce myself. I am Niraj Jaipuria. I'm a founder CEO at BIRetail. So BIRetail has been working with retailers for the last 16 years. We are a specialty retail analytics company. We help retailers make sense of data and take smarter decisions. Now, that being my area of forte, I am here to allow you to ask as many questions as you want around data, data analytics. I'm sure all of you do MIS reporting, analytics. And if you have questions in mind, please feel free, raise your hand. This starts now. This doesn't start towards the end of the session. We have only 10 minutes for this session, so you can start raising your hands right now. We'd also asked RAI to send out an email campaign inviting questions. We did get a decent amount of response. What I have done is before the session, I have compiled the questions that we got over the email, and I'm presenting some of the most common popular questions up on screen. Can I have the next slide, please? I'm going to show you, of course, I can't cover too much, but I'm trying to cover at least 2 or 3 or 4 of these questions. If anybody has questions in the audience today, I'd like to give preference to that. If not, if anybody is reading these questions, sorry, is it too small? Can't make out. And relates with any one of these questions, please point it out, so I'd like to take that up first. So open to the audience, any questions that you have around data, data analytics, problems that you're facing, or confusions, happy to answer that first. Anybody, please, feel free. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go through this list of questions, but during this 10 minutes, if you think of a question, please go ahead and ask me. So I've also tried to group and compile some questions. One of the most popular questions that we were getting was in how to do BI and analytics correctly. So 2 questions in this regard. Somebody said that I started doing reporting a few years ago. I've created about 60 reports. And now I'm a victim of my own creation. I realize that I'm spending time looking at reports, and I'm having less time for my business. So what am I doing wrong? So that's a question, but related to that, another question is, my reports are just another way for me to play catch up. I am able to discover what I'm doing wrong or what I did wrong yesterday, but all my time goes in correcting that, and my business continues to bleed. So let's take this as one set of questions. BI is a journey. We have to understand that it starts from reporting, but it does not and should not end at reporting. So while the first stage is correctly, you look at what's happening wrong yesterday and try and correct that, but there are tools and techniques that you need to further employ, evolve, that stops you from looking at 60 reports every day. So even at BIRetail here, we've got techniques where if you create 200 reports, you still don't have to look at each of those 200 reports. You can ask the software to look at each of those 200 reports, and from that, report to you only those 4 issues that it finds. It could be possible that there are 4 things that are going wrong today, so why do you want to look at the other 96 things to figure out or discover what are those 4 things that are going wrong? That's literally a robot in action. I'm sure whichever tool you use will have some system like that, so please explore that part, right? The other thing is you don't have to continuously play catch up, because like I said, why you start by what we call reactive reporting, which is looking at reports of data of yesterday and trying to see what went wrong. Here you're trying to put in corrective measures But you've got to evolve your BI strategy into what we call preventive measures. So uh, don't get confused about predictive analytics, AI, ML. They sound like big buzzwords. Very often we think, you know what, it's too much of time investment, I would not do it. Start forecasting and predictive analytics in very simplistic ways and still be able to get your BI tool to tell you what to do or what is going to happen in the next week rather than what happened yesterday, right? The floor is still open. If anybody has questions, you can raise your hand anytime. I'm just going to move on to the second one. Again, we got a fair amount of questions in the space where, around price value proposition of a BI system. So there are many tools available on a monthly subscription, but I use Excel, which is free. I'm doing all my pivoting on Excel. So what value will I get by moving out of Excel onto a BI system? Very relevant question. Another related question is, I've tried a lot of analytics software. I've lost a lot of money and I have nothing to show. So firstly, I will agree that I think Excel is one of the best reporting softwares in the world today. And it would be stupid to say that you did not start your reporting analytics journey with Excel first. But there are inherent inbuilt limitations, challenges with Excel. As data grows, it becomes slow, etc. More importantly, you need to get into more automation where when it comes to Excel, there's a lot of manual work that is required to be done. So what other BI tools can do for you over and above Excel is help you automate bringing in the data from your POS, your ERP, your CMS, your WMS, your e-com platforms, etc. So that manual intervention of gathering data together, etc., that can get automated through a proper and a full stack BI tool. Additionally, what you can do is, so sorry, before I get there, let me also explain today the world is all around the cloud. Almost all BI software that you actually can see are on a subscription model. So you don't need to worry about how expensive it's going to be about a CapEx. So the gentleman who tried a lot of software lost money. I'd love to know, what all software he tried, but all these softwares are on a subscription model. There is a very low entry barrier. You don't have a CapEx, and you can start using it, try it for a month or two. That's the amount of money you're risking out over there. I think that's a good way to go forward, right? I'll go on to the next one. Like I said, the floor is still open. Yes, please. Number 6, okay. I am extensively using reports to decide my actions, but I don't know how many of these are getting done down the line. Could you just introduce yourself? Where are you from? Okay, great. So this is a great question you've picked up, and the reason I put it there is because this is something that not very many people ask. It's a very relevant point. I always say that when you do analytics, you're taking so much effort in trying to get all your data together. You're taking effort to build dashboards or reports, right? You are taking effort, you've put SOPs in place to take decisions out of those dashboards and reports. And you're also directing those instructions that you take to people. But very often, there's many a slip between the cup and the lip, and out of my experience, I can tell you a lot of retailers actually fail in what is this last mile problem, right? So there are softwares which actually integrate what we call robotic process automation along with analytics. At BIRetail, we have a solution which we have called, it's a proprietary technique that we call transactive analytics, which works after you've taken your decision. It actually provides you a one-click action. So you can automate that action that needs to happen. For example, you saw that a particular item was out of stock in a store and it is available in another store. What are you going to do as a best case? As a best case, you're going to call the store manager of that or send him an email and ask him to send 5 pieces. You've done your job, but has he done his job, right? So through transactive analytics as an example, you will initiate that action of calling or sending an email through the BI tool itself. So the BI tool knows that today, 29th November, you've asked him to send 2 pieces from here to here. The BI tool will wait for 2 days. On 1st of December, if this action is not carried out, the BI tool can do whatever you want. It can prompt you, it can tell you, it can alert you, it can send a reminder there, it can escalate it. So what we've seen in an organization is nobody wants those alerts, but the purpose is not to send so many alerts. The purpose is if that manager knows that if he does not do something, he's accountable for it, he automatically becomes more responsible, right? I hope I've answered your question. We can talk more offline, right? Anybody else? Yes, please. Okay. Could you just quickly introduce yourself? Okay. Good to know you, Nitin. They've prompted that my time is up, but I'll very quickly, in 30 seconds, answer your question. And so it's a very relevant point. I think about every retailer that we engage with or we have engaged with, I think we spend about 25 to 30% of the effort of analytics for that brand or retailer in the space of customer, what we call CRM analytics, right? So who's bought, what is he buying, when did he buy or when did she buy, what price points do they buy, more at discounts or more at full prices, when was the last time they bought, a t-shirt versus a pair of trousers. When I'm running a promo campaign, who's the right target audience to send this promo to, right? When should I reach out to the customer? How can I predict when should be his next repeat cycle, right? So metrics like recency, frequency, monetary value, repeat cycles, preferences, lifetime value, these are key metrics that are out of the box available, let's say from BIRetail. And around these, we create a lot of use cases, mostly driven through objective solutioning rather than looking at data. But I'm happy to talk more with any of you who have any questions. I'm sorry, this was a 10-minute session. This was something we're trying for the first time in RAI. I hope we can continue doing interactive sessions. You have a question, but I think my time is out. Happy to talk to you offline, right? Thank you so much, everybody, for being great. Yeah.